In my team building for this journey to Granite Peak, I needed people that I could trust in the wilderness.
When did you say you want to climb Mount Granite or Granite Peak?
Sterling was an obvious choice. With plentiful wilderness survival skills and an aspiration for adventure, he was in. I also knew someone who had climbed Granite Peak before, and he too accepted the invitation to guide us on our expedition. His name is Tom, and we first met when we went to Bolivia. He was our translator on that trip, and he's also an avid mountain climber and is part of my inspiration to climb mountains. So, with a team assembled and a rough schedule planned, it was time to practice.
This one, yeah. It's also one lower. Oh, you just skipped it. Oh, no, you're right.
Tom told us about the final climb up Granite Peak's East Ridge, and that it would contain mainly Class 3 and Class 4 climbing, and a little stretch of Class 5. There would be a snow bridge about halfway up the climb, and would potentially be the most dangerous part of our ascent. So with that in mind, my and Sterling's objective was to train for endurance climbing. The problem with that is the only climbing gym in Great Falls is exclusively a bouldering gym. But they do have one route that goes across the entire wall, called the Grand Traverse. So Sterling and I decided to focus on that during our winter training. The journey to Granite Peak would present many unique challenges that we had never encountered before. We focused on 3 aspects that we thought would be most difficult during our trek: elevation, pathfinding, and endurance. Sterling and I chose a specific mountaineering trek with each aspect in mind. Rocky Mountain in the Bob Marshall Wilderness would be our first encounter with high elevation, stretching above 9,000 feet. It would be a good judgment for what time we would need to adjust to different altitudes. Red Mountain in the Scapegoat Wilderness near Lincoln would challenge our orienteering skills, helping us practice pathfinding in order to get up the ridges. It also would help continue our high altitude training, as it is actually a few hundred feet higher than Rocky Mountain. Although a lot milder but longer, the Southern Ridge in the Highwoods would be our endurance training, with lower elevations but a nice and easy ridge hike that could emulate the brisk but vast expansion of the second major section of the Granite Peak expedition, Froze to Death Plateau. As summer approached, we got ready to face our first mountain. But it wasn't the only mountain I was facing. Courtney, my girlfriend, had just left for an 18-month-long mission in Houston, Texas, and I wasn't able to call or visit her at all. And part of me was relieved that this journey started after she left, because it was something that I could distract myself with. On the other hand, if we actually did succeed at this, I wouldn't be able to call her from the top of Granite Peak. And I wouldn't be able to tell her in that moment that we had succeeded. But that would be okay. It was strange, though. I left Powell, and not even 48 hours later, I was headed into the Bob Marshall Wilderness. If you've never been in the Bob before, let me tell you that any drive into the mountain front is so intimidating. This is arguably the wildest place in the contiguous US. All right, second ford of the week. I took like a step and it wasn't wet, and I was like, I can make it. And so I started running, and then it seeped in. Look at that waterfall. Oh, this is an even better view of the waterfall, by the way. But the climb, as we did expect, presented challenges that we were unaware of.
Oh, that was scary. You get stuck out here, that's it.
The shale that we had to climb over was very difficult, and the snow-covered creek was a danger that I didn't even want to mess with. Alright, cross to the other side and it's a lot easier. Yeah. But once we got out of that gulch, this huge ski bowl opened up, and we could see quite a few more mountains. We took a short break on a fairly flat step above the ski bowl, but we were quickly running out of time, so we had to get going. Due to a huge snowfield that we hadn't prepared for being in our way, we altered our course and decided to just go straight up the mountain to these Class 3 and Class 4 cliffs. However, this cost us a lot of time. We don't want to be doing this at dark at all. We're making the mature decision to turn around. We're about, I'd say, a straight shot 600 feet from the top. But it's 3:21 and this took us about 5 hours. So the sun will be setting when we get back, if it takes us that long to get back. Yeah, next time we try this early. But hey, we made it this far and didn't die.
No.
Now it's getting down. Yeah, we need to take it really slow. We knew that not every mountain that we tried would be a success right from the get-go, and so that was a little bit comforting. We also knew that we'd come back to Rocky Mountain very soon after this first attempt, and we learned a lot on this first try. But it initially set this mood of failure on our journey, and it was intimidating. I'll leave you with this. Giving up on a specific day or a specific time because you are exhausted or you missed the mark, that's okay. Sometimes you have to reset and take a couple of days or whatever. But giving up forever is what puts us into a perpetual state of sadness. Not accomplishing something depresses us. And so don't give up forever. take a break, but then get back to it.
Moo you.